and my little blue dot wasn't working on my phone, my little GPS blue dot on the map. And luckily I just rebooted it and it's fine now. But I was thinking I only have to get from Namaoike Park in Fukuoka to Takeshita Station. But I wanted to take these little back streets that are a bit quieter so I could do a little podcast. And I was like, you know what? I've done this run 2 or 3 times now. I think I can do it. I bet I could do this. But luckily, I restarted the phone and it works now. And it's like, that's probably for the best. Because man, the back streets are so tough. So when last I left this podcast, I was coming down from Aburayama Mountain, from this amazing observation level that I found that's like above the main observation deck that you can drive to. This one you have to hike up to, and it's like, holy crap, that's a good view. And then I went down this really steep path, and I was like, this probably brought me about halfway down, right? And I hit this like forestry access road. But no, it was not even, it was like 5/6 of the way up. I had a long ways to go to get down. But it's really nice, winding, slow road, and they're doing a bunch of work on stuff, like building up stuff, and there's a lot of views on the way down that are like, man, that's good. And it looks like they're making them into more proper sort of park type areas, and it's like, wow, these are going to be good. And then about halfway down, it was getting real dark. Not quite, like still technically kind of daylight, but really getting close. And I passed 2 guys who were going up the mountain. And it's like, hey, how you doing? Gave our hellos, but I was like, what the hell? Where could they possibly be going? There's nothing there. And maybe it was just that they were trying to get up to the Aburayama Katai observation deck, because a lot of people go up there at night. That's where the drink machine and the hot dog guy are, and it's the beautiful nighttime view. But there was no way they were going to make it in time, so good luck to them. I wish I could have followed their little adventure. Like, what the heck happened to them? I mean, it's basically just a paved road all the way up, and then a very short, like maybe 200 meters, walk through the woods, although that part I bet was pretty freaky at night. But even just with cell phone flashlights, I'm sure they were fine. But I mean, I bet it got wicked dark. But and I still had a long ways to go. It was way further than I expected. And it was pretty much pitch black by the time I got to the bottom. It's like, fuck. Which is extremely similar to the time I took that road in 2019, except that was the middle of the summer. Same thing happened. I got down there in the dusky twilight, but that was, late at night on a hot summer. This was, at 5:30 or something, 5:20 in the dark fall. And I kind of hurt my knee a bit. And I mean, the obvious culprit would be that I went all the way up the mountain. I just walked all the way up the side. That definitely contributed, but I was pretty deliberate in my pace as I went up the mountain, and I felt fine. Nothing hurt at all as I went up the mountain. So even though it seems a little counterintuitive, I think it was actually going down, even though, again, I went down kind of with a nice gentle slope. Well, I guess that first bit that I went down, it was the really steep part. But then even though it was like a gentle paved road all the way down, I really had to hoof it because it was getting so dark. And I think that's where I hurt my knee, because going down is like deceptively hard on the body. You got to strain your knees to pull yourself up steps, but you're constantly rattling your fucking skeleton as you go down. And it wasn't the worst, but I did definitely have some pain in my bad knee, and I stopped to kind of stretch it and stuff, and then it felt okay. But I had to do that like 3 times on the way home. And that's where it was like, God damn, I wish I had a faster way to get the heck out of here. Pretty much no choice but to walk halfway across freaking Fukuoka. Either that or learn how the buses work. It's like, if I'd done that previously, maybe, but I'm not going to try that now. I wonder if you can use, I've never even looked into that, if you can use like the IC cards, like the Suica cards on the bus, or do you need the coins? I don't know. Anyway, And it started raining a little too. So that was just, but again, that wasn't that bad. It was all just kind of like little warning stuff, little stuff that was like, be mindful of this in the future. Like I don't always have an umbrella with me because this little bag I bought on Oyama Road is just a teeny bit too small to comfortably squeeze an umbrella into. But I got it today because it is, kind of cloudy, a little overcasty, but also nice, could go either way. But that was my little warning. My 2 little warnings: watch your knee, you old idiot, and keep an umbrella on you because it is it still November? Yeah, it's November 28th as I record this, so definitely the kind of, obviously no snow in Fukuoka. I wonder if it's ever snowing here. But yeah, I need to be prepared for rain. So the weather is pretty variable around here. It was like really clear skies yesterday when I first headed out. And yeah, by the end of the evening, it was drizzling a little bit. And even today, I guess. So that's the thing is, because my poor knee and also just the whole day, like it took so long to get off that mountain and so long to walk back. This just kind of happens to me every day that I kind of bite off a little more than I maybe should. Go a little further in a day, just so by the time I get back, it's real late. Which again, hey man, you only get to visit Japan so often in life. Might as well soak it in. But I thought today, it's like, this would be a really good excuse. I keep trying to convince myself not to go off on a mega adventure. Just have a smaller adventure, Don't go as far. Don't get all wacky. But then weird, wacky shit happens, and it's worth it. You find cool observation decks and stuff. But with the knee thing too, it's like, just rest, take a day off. And I never actually got around to doing laundry the other day, and I just noticed today, like, oh shit, this is literally my last pair of socks and my last t-shirt. Again, I don't know why I brought so many pairs of underwear. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of them. It's not a bad thing to have. But I, for some reason, brought way more underwear than everything else. Strange oversight. But even in my weird little dank Airbnb where the sun doesn't shine, you can still see enough of the glow out the window that when I woke up, I'm like, oh, it's so obviously beautiful out. It's so obviously sunny and amazing. Like, I can't stay home. I can't. It's insane to stay home. And again, it's going to be dark by 5:30 anyway. There ain't nothing wrong with going out for the afternoon and doing some stuff. It's just then I got to actually come back. If I actually came back as it got dark, that's all the time in the world to do some laundry and stuff. I just need to not be on top of a mountain at that time. So that's today's quest, is yet another attempt, although this generally fails in a good way. I fail upward. But another quest, another attempt to have a shorter day, to go on less of an epic journey. And yeah, even though it was really sunny and amazing when I first woke up, it's definitely 50-50 now. There's definitely some clouds, and they're definitely a little dark. Because I could almost use that. Just a nice rainy day to force me to stay home. That wouldn't be the worst thing. But it has not happened yet. It has been miracle weather while I've been here. It's just been absolutely out of control how good the weather is. I mean, besides it getting like windy in Chiba, that's like the worst thing. And that wasn't bad. That was kind of neat. But I just realized, here's what I could do for a bit of an adventure. I thought maybe I would do, because I haven't been to the center yet. I'm going to just start saying the center, because I would call it downtown back in North America, but I heard somewhere that downtown in Japan refers to the old part of town. So maybe the new part with all the fancy stuff is uptown. Maybe it's neither though. I think if I just say central, that's pretty. Central Tokyo, Central Fukuoka, everyone knows what that means. The part with all the big, cool, pretty, lit up stuff where you're very unlikely to find a squat toilet. The center. So I haven't really been properly to the center. And it's not a part of town I know that well, but there is, Canal City is a very famous mall that, water runs through it like a canal. I don't really know what's there, I don't remember. When I was here in 2019, I saw an Evangelion light show that they did there. They played music from Evangelion and projected stuff on the walls and did like a water show, and it was pretty fucking cool, and it was just a free thing happening at the mall. I don't expect anything like that to be going on, but it's a good excuse just to go down to the just to go downtown just to head to the center and see what's up. But I also just realized I could combine this with another experiment where I figured out that the JR line does connect directly to Hakata Station. But there's this other train line I have not taken yet. Ohashi Station is not that far from me. OHASHI Station. And it seems like it doesn't connect. It seems like it goes in the vicinity of Tenjin Station and stops. So that'd be a perfect experiment for today. It's still taking me basically where I want to go. Maybe even better, actually. The walk from Hakata to Tenjin is a little bit of a walk. So let's give that a try. Let's try that out and see what happens. And let's see if this cannot spiral off into a thing that eats up the entire day. Though, even if it does, again, whatever. Whatever. I'm also starting to realize, I've still got 2 months left in Japan. I'm not even halfway through my visit. 90 days is a nice chunk, man. It's a good visit. But I don't have anything set up after this. And obviously it's better to set up travel stuff in advance. I just didn't really decide. It was basically just very small chance I could go to Australia because I know someone there, or more likely just go to South Korea because it's very close. I've never been, and since I'm illiterate in both countries, to me it might just seem very similar. If all I do is walk around and go to convenience stores, I have a feeling Seoul might not be so different. But I know actual nothing. I don't know how long visitor visas are for. I don't know shit. So I have to do a little bit of research. And I guess I should get on that. It's probably about time that I start trying to figure out what I'm doing. And I'm walking past a school. It's always weird to see schools in Japan because that's such a common trope in anime. And it's one of the things that is least similar. They look the same, they're the same shape, they have that same jingle. But the vibrant wackiness of shit going on in an anime is just not even remotely like anything I've ever seen with kids in Japan. They're just yep, just going to school, okay. If anything too, it's schools, they seem to rely a lot on natural lighting. So they also kind of seem a little dim inside, it's not even especially bright. Because there's a lot of times when I'll be walking in the countryside, or even just walking through a mall, or walking through a big vibrant center of the city area, or even just a convenience store, and think wow, it's just like an anime. And to be fair, I've never been inside a school, of course. But I've never walked by a school in Japan and thought, wow, it's just like all those school anime. It doesn't feel the same. But I guess it would be weird if it did, right? It would be, obviously, it's a place of study. It's a place of seriousness. It's not a place for Project A-Code to fucking smash someone through a wall. What am I exactly yammering about? I don't know. I just happened to walk past a school. I gotta figure out how to actually get to this station, because I think am I getting closer? I don't know. I legitimately might have just walked in a circle. But that's fine. It was a nice little walk, but now I've got to actually figure out what direction I'm supposed to go. Well, speaking of umbrellas, got a little teeny bit of rain coming down, but it's also kind of nice out. It's like a little sun shower. But no question, need my umbrella. I also got tucked away in my little bag. It's like a teeny little disposable plastic raincoat thing that somebody gave me in Canada, just a little 7-Eleven one. It's going to be kind of a break in case of emergency thing, but It's nice that I got it just in case, because I mean, it was obviously different when I was here in 2019 because it was early summer. But yeah, I had at least one day. I'm sure it must have happened more than once, but I have one day I remember in specific where, yeah, I was way in the middle of nowhere and it just started raining like crazy. And I tried to wait it out, but it was not stopping. So I basically had to tuck my wallet and my phone under as many layers as possible. Just keep those dry and let everything else go. And yeah, by the time I got back to my Airbnb, it was like I had just been swimming in a lake. But it was, it was fun. It's not a bad day. I also realized you can kind of gauge when you're getting near a train station just by the neighborhood, at least in with the density of Fukuoka. Maybe this wouldn't work as well in Tokyo, but it might. Where I was just walking along and, it's just normal sort of places, some stores here and there, some convenience stores, nothing much going on. And then all of a sudden, there's a pachinko place, there's a big book-off store, there's all this stuff. And it's like, oh, here we go, Ohashi Station, it's right there. Nice. More obvious observations, since that is my specialty. Yeah, I hopped in this book-off, and it's one of these things I hadn't realized I'd never done until doing it just now. Is I've always seen the Japanese Famicom because it's so different from the North American version. Pretty much every other console is more or less the same in the different countries. There's little differences. Either it's a Sega, either it's a Genesis or a Mega Drive, or the buttons are a different color, or little things. But the Famicom is massively different looking. And I've seen them a lot here. They're all wrapped up though. They're always like ready to go. Like they're in very meticulous, good shape, and you feel confident that if you bought it, it would work and it would be all good. But this book-off was the first time I've seen one that was open, because it was like $18 for this Famicom. This was the opposite. This was like, who knows? Take your chances. It's probably okay, but it ain't going to be pristine. So why bother? Why bother wrapping it all up? Here it is. So I got to actually pick up the controller and hold it in my hands and fiddle with the little buttons and the switches on the thing, and just, it's like, oh yeah, this thing's got an eject button. I guess the Super Nintendo also had an eject button, but the, obviously the American Nintendo, it was like this weird VCR system where you put the game in and you push down a platter. It's a very strange design, because they were trying to distance themselves from video games and to make it seem more like a VCR or something. And yeah, that was just neat, just a neat little thing. It's like, oh, look at that. I just never realized I'd never really touched one of these things before. And then, the step back from that, when I was here in 2019, I never touched a Sega Saturn, but I'd never even seen a Sega Saturn. I was a Sega kid. I had a Master System, I had a Genesis, I had my brother had a Dreamcast. We had all the stuff except the Saturn. That's how much of a failure the poor old Saturn was. So I'd never even seen one until I came to Japan and I got to just see a Sega Saturn. It's like, nice. Completed that part of the mission. And then the other thing I noticed is I was walking along the train tracks. This is like an elevated train. There was a little building under the tracks that was a music rehearsal and recording space. And I was like, that's weird. I mean, it seems like a really good place to have a rehearsal space because it's just underneath train tracks anyway, right? It's already very noisy. It's not going to matter too much to the neighborhood, I don't think, if you're in there rocking the fuck out. But as far as recording goes, I wonder how that works. Surely that's got to be tricky, because no matter how soundproofed the place is, you're underneath the train tracks, right? Like, I mean, again, during rehearsal, I'm imagining that could be cool. That could be like a scene in a music manga. Like maybe you get inspired, the train going by, and just feeling the rumble as you're practicing your songs. Maybe it would like inspire you to find that new sound or something. But for recording, I got to assume that during the times when the train goes by, they just, okay, don't use that, sorry, got to redo that part. Like, I just can't imagine how that could work. So that was an interesting thing. I don't quite know how that all works, and it seemed half genius and half like, no fucking way. You can't, what? Maybe you could record at night too, I guess, like once the trains stop. Anyway, kind of neat though. I never saw that before. I don't know if that's a common thing or what. All right, I'm going to hop on the train at Ohashi Station. Geez, this is like a serious station. This is like a way bigger station than the JR line I was on the other day. So let's try taking this and see where it goes. All right, that was pretty cool. That was an extremely nice train. I'd say that's a little fanciness step up from the JR train I was on the other day. Which I guess JR is just Japan Rail, right? So I guess that makes sense if they're just kind of like the let's get some trains running, let's just make sure things work. It's not going to be super duper fancy pants. As soon as I went in, like I was saying, it was a bigger station than I expected, and it had like a clock, Right away you're getting them Harry Potter vibes. That's like a real train station. It's sort of neat too, being on a train and just seeing the blue dot on the phone actually move, On foot, you can see it move, but you really got to look carefully. You really got to be watching to watch it, like the little thing scooch forward to make sure you're going the right way. Speaking of, I just stepped outside. I just got to make sure I'm walking toward Canal City. All right, I think close enough. I think I'll get there this way. But yeah, then I rode the train, and off at the other side, also great big like train terminal feeling. Not quite like Grand Central Station, but that type of thing. Except with the vibe of Japan, where there was curved LCD screens on the pillars in the room. So it's like an ad for some anime, but curved around the pillar. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's fucking cool. And then after I left that station, it's like right into a diamond store. It's like, dude, after like just hanging out in the mountains and all the squat toilets and stuff, this is the other side of Fukuoka, man. You get to the center and it is fucking bang, bang, boom. It's the future. But also, because this place had the train station vibe, similar to an airport vibe, it had my precious thing that I love so much. Those machines where, you can basically invent your own drink, where it makes the drink and it spits it out in a little paper cup. I fucking love those. Even though I associate them with kind of sucking a bit. Like, to me, that sort of feels like old school stuff that you used to see in North America, but you don't really see anymore. And you don't really see in Japan either. You just see the normal vending machines with the cans. So they had the same one from the airport, from the Fukuoka airport, but they had a new one too. So I tried that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and try to fucking use my little translator. Let's just try to do this. Let's just see if I can figure it out on my own. And I did not. I knew right away something was wrong because it had all those cool buttons. Again, these are like, I was saying it reminds me of North America, but North America would never have all these options where you can choose the intensity of the coffee and the amount of sugar and the amount of cream, all this cool crap, hot or cold. But it didn't give me any of those options. Well, it gave me two options, which I guess were the hot or the cold. And I guessed wrong, and it didn't give me the other options. Basically, I was trying to get hot coffee, and instead I got cold chocolate milk with ice. And I was like, geez, that's really not even close. But then I just went to one of the other machines, and I got a little hot can of black coffee and mixed it all together, and that was pretty good. Doing freaking alchemy here in the train station, but but I pulled it off. In the end, I made the thing I wanted to make. And yeah, basically, I guess I'm walking toward Tenjin Minami. Technically, I got off at Nishitetsu Fukuoka, in parentheses, Tenjin. Next door to Tenjin Minami. And yeah, I'm going to head toward Canal City just because I remember it and it's kind of cool. And I figure I should get somewhere with a washroom because on top of the double coffee that I didn't intend to get, then as I left the station, there was a Tully's drink machine, just like vending machine. I've seen Tully's stuff before, but I don't think I've ever seen a full Tully's machine. And it had matcha shot, which I've never seen before. 265 milliliter. It's one of the little metal cans that looks like a bottle. Matcha shot. And it seems like it's probably pretty goddamn delicious, but this is an absurd amount of liquids. So I'm walking past Fukuoka Station. But what is Fukuoka Station? Is it a bus station? There are some buses coming out because it's not the subway station and it's not the station I just came from. Oh, and there's a truck going by that also has some handsome J-pop gentlemen on the side in LCD form. Nothing like an LCD fucking advertisement, man. It looks so cool. Yeah, I don't know what the heck Fukuoka Station is because it's not on my little pre-downloaded Google map. I don't know that it is a station. I think maybe it's just a mall complex called Fukuoka Station. Like maybe all these local stations are tied together by the stores. I don't know. Fukuoka's a bit of a complicated place. It's a little confusing. Anyway, that train station was delightful, if for nothing else than just because it had a cool vibe and it's got drink machines. I mean, what else do I need? But I also got the feeling too, because it was only 4 stops, I think, to get here. It was like $2, $2.20, I think, 220 yen. Very cheap ride to get down here. And I had the same thought I had on the JR train. It's like, okay, yeah, I got this nice little journey into the center. But if you look at the overall map or whatever, there's a million stops. So like, what would happen if I just went the other way? Surely I'll get around to this experiment at some point while I'm here. It keeps slipping my mind though until I'm on a train. And again, I need to, as with everything, the only downside to traveling in the late fall is that it gets dark so early. Other than that, everything has been delightful. The weather is perfect. But even for silly adventures like that, it just really does require getting your shit together and getting in gear relatively early. Because, you know, if I hop on the train and I just spend like $15 going out to the middle of nowhere for no reason, that's one thing. But I don't want to get there in the dark, you know. I still want to have some daytime to at least wander around and wonder what I'm doing with my life. Like even now, geez, like yeah, I felt like this was a pretty minor adventure today, but it's already 2:45. I got a couple hours, but the sun ain't gonna last. But again, this is the one thing you can do in Fukuoka where it doesn't fucking matter if it gets dark. Because downtown, if anything, it might be better when it's dark. It might look cooler. You know, I'm starting to get the distinct impression that the exact same thing that happens every single day that I'm in Japan is probably going to happen again, because it took me a second to get myself situated. It's like, okay, which way is Canal City? Where am I going? And then I was heading in the right direction, and it's like, okay, I'm starting to recognize stuff a little. And then I got to the titular canal, and it's like, there it is, coming into view, Canal City. But it's not nighttime, you know? It's like, yeah, there it is. It's not bad. It's kind of nice. It's got like greenery that kind of grows up along the side of it. A bit unusual for a mall. But this whole area, I'm just looking at all the stuff around here, and it's like, oh, this is going to be way better in 2 or 3 hours, you know? I think Fukuoka really is meant kind of to be seen at nighttime, this central area. So in this case, it's a good thing that the sun is going to go down soon. It's not like I got to wait around until 8 or 9 at night. This will happen in no time. But yeah, I think now that I'm down here, I mean, it would just be weird to hang out here and then leave as it started getting dark. I gotta fucking stay here till it gets dark. And that's like, now that I'm here, I'm realizing that's the point of coming here. So my big plan to get home relatively early is probably not going to happen. I'm going to have to figure something out though, because yeah, this legitimately is my last pair of socks and my last fucking t-shirt. I mean, I have a washing machine in my little apartment. I haven't used it yet, but I don't foresee any huge problems there. It's really just the dryer thing. Got to drag my clothes down the street to the laundromat to use the dryer, or try to hang stuff up and see if I can dry it the old-fashioned way. But whatever, again, not actually a problem, not a big deal. I just haven't done it yet. Every time I get home, I'm so fucking beat. I'm just so exhausted. I'm like, I don't care. I'll figure it out tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes, I wake up and it's like, well, I could do stuff. But man, think of how much sunlight I'd be eating up if I do laundry. The hell with that. So yeah, it's just, I wouldn't go so far as to say I'm burning the candle at both ends or anything. It's not like crazy. It's just not quite working out. Things are just not quite working where I have any time back at the old Airbnb. But yeah, I don't know. Got to do it now. Got to do it tonight or tomorrow. I just got to. Don't have a choice anymore. Unless, option number one, I just be a gross guy who wears his clothes 2 days in a row, which I'm not going to lie to you. Back in COVID times, I did do that sometimes because it's just like, fuck it. I'm literally just going to go walk through the wood lot near my house. I'm not going to see anybody, like anyone. Once a week, I would like walk across town to go visit family. Other than that, I was really, really not spending time with people during COVID. So I let myself get a little gross. It was fine. But I don't want to do that here. I do not want to be the guy walking around Japan who is the gross smelling foreigner. I won't do it. I don't have a lot of national pride necessarily. I'm very casually like, oh yeah, I'm a little glad that I'm Canadian. Seems better than some of the alternatives, but I'm not like, rah, I'm this fucking thing or whatever. But I don't want to fucking make Canadians, and by extension, even just skinny, nerdy white guys visiting Japan, I don't want us to have a reputation as smelly guys. So I can't do that. I shan't. The other option is I could go to a convenience store and buy a t-shirt and a pair of socks, and that would extend me for a day because I still got underwear at home. My pants are fine. But what a weird thing that'd be if I start falling into that habit. I get one more day. Next thing you know, I've just got like a stack of overpriced random single item clothes, single pieces of clothing that I bought. And then once it does become time to travel on, all of a sudden it'll be like, how come mysteriously none of my shit fits in my fucking book bag anymore? I think these are all very stupid plans for a guy who, it's so weird how nobody ever has time ever, no matter what. Obviously if you got kids and you got a relationship you got to handle, you got a job you got to go to, yeah, of course you have no free time, Time is precious. Time is a commodity. How is it that I am like, yeah, cool. I got money from my poor deceased dad. I'm gonna make him proud, ? I'm going to use it to go on a 90-day visit to Japan where I don't have anything to do but literally just walk around and soak it in and hope that up in heaven he's not too ashamed of me. And still I feel like all my days are so slammed. I just have no time. Now, to be fair, I climbed up a mountain yesterday. That might help explain things a little bit, but it's still pretty remarkable. There's no such thing as the languid day where it's just like, wow, this day will never end. When you were a little kid, that shit used to happen. Once you're an adult, that doesn't exist anymore. I don't know. Again, I'm not complaining. I know I've got it very good right now in life. But this is like one of these things. Maybe I shouldn't even say it. Maybe it's just extra demoralizing to hear. But, if you're like, oh, geez, if only I didn't have all these responsibilities and I'd finally have time to do the things that I always wanted to do. But the truth is, shit, dude, here I am. I'm doing it. I got nothing else to do. And if I actually sit down and write a fucking paragraph of writing for the day, it's like, woof, I did it. How was that hard to squeeze in? How did that happen? I suppose standing here recording podcast is not helping the situation. It's quite miraculous, the timey-wiminess of time, the relativity of time, which I guess it makes sense, right? Like how recess when you were a kid, like a 15-minute recess felt like it was like an hour long or an hour and a half. It felt crazy long. But relative to the length of your life up to that point, it was a good chunk of time. It's like a summer was like a serious chunk of your life. And this, the chunks just keep getting tinier. The gradations get smaller and smaller as you get older and older. And then you die. Okay, let's just stop talking about this now. Canal City is actually a pretty cool mall. It's really, really pretty. Though it is very half and half as far as indoor and outdoor, it's really a mix of both, which was really nice when I was here in the summer. Today, though, it's actually continued to get kind of windy and a little chilly. This would actually be a great day to have gone hiking. Cool you off a little as you're going up a hill. And the trees would block the wind a bit. It's not the best day to be downtown. Center town, in the center. Because I'd say that place is pretty good. I mean, it's got everything you want. It's got the big gacha store with the toys and stuff that I thought was interesting, but it's also got fancy clothes if you're into that. As you go up, there's restaurants and stuff. I went to a tempura place with Brad once that was very nice. I saw also on the 4th floor they had one of those sushi places with the little conveyor belt, which is cool. I've never gone to one that's just like where the sushi goes around on the conveyor belt, but I have been to one where you order stuff and it arrives on a little train comes by on a track. But I think Brad said that place closed, sadly. But I was saying too how I saw like an Evangelion water show when I was there, and I was like, surely that won't happen today. But then as I was walking around, the mall music got mysteriously much louder. I was like, what is going on with this? And then I peered over the edge and it's like, it's not as fancy with like screens projecting things and whatnot, but they played some classical music and they had a whole water show. So I guess that just happens throughout the day. So that's a bonus. The place is quite tall too. Once you get up to the 4th floor, and you can look down into where like the little water show thing is at the canal. It was more than enough to trigger my fear of heights. I was like, ugh, spooky. But apparently there are like a lot of Christmas lights, and like I saw there was like some kind of like Christmas temporary Christmas city or whatever that was being set up. Like it's not there yet because it's not even December. But I will be here for another couple of weeks. So surely I'll be able to catch some of this Christmas vibe. So perhaps that's what I will do in the future. Instead of with every other plan I have for Fukuoka, it's like, shit, I gotta get up early. Earlier the better. Gotta get moving while it's still daytime. This is the one thing where if a day gets away from me, it's like, oh great. Just head central. Head central, see the lights. But today for a little train test, just have a nice little wander in the city proper. Not too bad. I also wanted to mention, since this is the kind of nonsense that occupies my brain, the way that I mixed my accidental chocolate milk with a black coffee and made a delightful little mocha at the train station. So I also got the matcha shot, the Tully's matcha shot from the machine. And it's very good. Tully's, I always get matcha when I go to Tully's. And it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty decent quality. This is good, but it's unsweetened. And I was like, whew, it's good, but it's rough. It's definitely it's a little sharp. Because as I'm always yammering about, that's my constant problem in Japan is that I'm mama bear, Oh, this one's too sweet. Oh, this one's too bitter. This one's just right. It's really hard to find the just right. But really, mixing stuff, personal alchemy, man, it really does the trick. Shit, okay, which way do I walk? I have no fucking idea where to go from this intersection. Holy crap, against all odds, if I just keep walking straight, it appears I'll go right to Hakata Station. I fucking did it, but it was definitely an accident. Oh, there's a movie theater in Canal City also. Just in case you need a movie theater for some reason. Probably not the best thing you could do with your time, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. That's clearly patently false, but that's my official stance. So anyway, I had this fucking morning shot Tully's matcha, this rare item that I've never seen in a machine before. But yeah, it was like, whoo, geez, it's just like, boom, matcha. But like the first time I ever had matcha, I worked at this place called Blends in Vancouver. That it's basically just Starbucks. But in order to stand out from Starbucks, our thing was that we're higher quality ingredients, but even more expensive. And it was a pain in the ass. Like when Starbucks makes a mocha, they just use syrup, chocolate syrup from a pump, and it's fine. No one has a problem with that. No one minds that. But Blends was like, oh, that's not fancy enough. So we have 3 types of chocolate, which I mean, that part is kind of neat. There was dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and white chocolate. But we can't just have syrup from a pump. That would be too easy. Instead, we got these bags of fucking chocolate chips from Belgium. And for each and every mocha or hot chocolate, we had to melt down the chocolate chips every time. It's like, fuck, it's already quite an annoying process to pull a shot of espresso and to steam milk and to make sure all your fucking velvety foam, perfectly sized bubbles on your goddamn fucking... It was brutal. It was ridiculous. But if you want to pay $6.50, and geez, that was $6.50 in like 2005. What do they charge now for one of those things? Like $13? But anyway, that's the kind of nonsense we're dealing with. But then they brought in matcha, and it was really awesome because they legitimately brought in real ass matcha. I'd never heard of matcha before, but like they shipped it in from Japan. It came in a little package that it's like, I don't know, how big would I describe this thing? Bigger than your hand, but not that much bigger. Like you could place this package in the palm of your hand and it would like overshoot your hand a little. And it was $200. I saw the invoices. They weren't kidding. They were all like, yeah, this is so pricey, it's $200. I was like, is it really? And then I saw the fucking invoice. I'm like, holy shit, it really is. So then it was like super powerful mega matcha. You just take like a teeny little scoop and put a little bit in every matcha latte. But anyway, long story short, that's when I started realizing I could fuck with shit. I was like, wow, you know, I can make like whatever the iced frappuccino type thing is. We didn't officially offer it with the dark chocolate chips, but I could do that because I fucking worked there. Or with the matcha, it's like, hey, I can just put a little bit of sweetness and it's way better. That's not how we sell it, but that's how I can make it fucking delicious. So this is like the ghetto version of that, where I had my fancy matcha, and then I just went to a Family Mart across from Canal City, and I got a Boss Coffee matcha latte, super sweet, trash drink, you know? It's just shit, it's just green sugar drink. But it has a vague taste of matcha, and when I mix the two together, so good, so good, so delicious. However, I still have most of it in my pocket, you know? It's like I mixed some of it together and drank it. The rest of it, I was like, all right, twist the cap back on this bottle, put it away, because as I've chronicled many times, I'm a pee machine. I can't drink this much liquid, I'll die. I'll save this for later. That's the only problem with this mix and matching. Whew, okay, there's a sign I should shut up. The only problem is so much liquid, so much additional. Okay, I can't even finish this. What the fuck? Anyway, I'm near Hakata Station. I see it in the distance. Get away from this fucking construction noise. But yeah, obviously this leads to a lot of liquid, a lot of caffeine, a lot of peeing. And also, I guess, the ridiculousness of if anybody sees you mixing your bottles together like a weirdo, that's a little strange too. But I don't hate it. It's not the worst plan I've ever had. All right, heading to Hakata. Alright, I'm in Yodobashi Camera by Hakata Station. I had not intended to record in here, but I just realized I should get this live. I should get this experience. I got my recorder tucked into my jacket sleeve so it doesn't look as weird. Maybe no one will notice that I'm talking to myself. This place is pretty overwhelming. So basically I went to Hakata Station and it does have like a Christmas pavilion thing set up. So I got a little taste of Christmas, though not at night still. But then inside Hakata Station, it was just way too busy. I started feeling like I always have a little mask in my pocket. Medically, I don't know that it does much. It's a little Adidas cloth mask, you know. It's more just to put people at ease during COVID times. And I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what the vibe was going to be like in Japan, so I brought it along.
Components, smartphones, home appliances, cosmetics, and more. We also offer tax-free shopping. Yodobashi Camera is the best place to shop for you. We hope you enjoy your shopping with us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask our sales staff for assistance.
But yeah, it was just so crowded in there that I haven't really used this this mask because again, it's mainly just for show. But I thought maybe it would be like this in Japan. Maybe you know, going into a convenience store, like everyone would just put on masks. But not really. No one really gives a shit. There are a lot of people wearing masks, but it's fine not to wear them. But I got that feeling like I should put on my mask just for my own psychological, to feel better about being around this many people, even though really my dumb mask doesn't do shit. And then I realized like I should just get out of here. It's just too many people. It's uncomfortable, an uncomfortable crush of people, and I'm not there for any reason. If I was passing through to go somewhere, that's one thing, but I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing with myself today. I was just like, fuck Hakata Station, I'm out of here. And then as I was walking down the street, I saw this place, Yodobashi Camera. And these places, there's another variety too that's more prevalent in Tokyo. I don't remember what it's called, but something or other camera. And they always were fascinating to me because you can buy tech stuff, you know, such as cameras, but computer stuff and phone stuff and whatever, but also hard liquor at those ones. And I was like, what a weird mix. So I was like, let me just go in. Let me go into this store. I've never really explored one of these stores very much. Though I did go to the one in Ikebukuro to get a passport photo done, so they do in fact do camera stuff sometimes. But yeah, Yodobashi doesn't seem to have booze. But man, once you get inside, it's crazy. It's like a whole city. They have everything in here. It's insane. I kind of thought maybe I would just look at headphones, but I can't fucking find them. There's so much fucking shit in this place. It's out of control. It's crazy. And then you realize that's only one floor. That if you go upstairs, there's more shit. You go downstairs, there's more shit. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, this place is nuts. I guess it's kind of like a Walmart, except the stuff in it is more interesting. You know, it's actual cool stuff that you might want. I guess by the time you get to the third floor, it's just like stoves and washing machines. It's a little less interesting. But anyway, as I was walking around, I found a gacha corner, which I have just returned to. Tons of gacha machines. There was a bunch of these in Canal City also. And I was noticing the same thing I noticed in Ikebukuro, is the number of these. I think it's mainly just for the spectacle. It's like, whoa, look how many gacha machines there are. Because they're just full of shit, you know? And I don't say that just because it's like anime I don't watch. It's literal just dumb plastic crap. It's like, you know, here's one where you can get little like sushi, or here's one where you can get, I don't know, like a little bug, or just just random tat, you know, just trying to fill the space. It's like, who buys any of these? Like, this is just such a bunch of plastic shit. It's so weird. I don't know what the point of most of these are, you know, at least the ones that are based on actual properties. Maybe. Okay, well, here's one that's kind of interesting. Back to the Future. This is a Bandai one, and it's like little anime versions of the Back to the Future characters. There's Marty and Doc and Biff and the Marvin Gaye's cousin's band. The dog, the hoverboard from part 2, and the DeLorean with the wings. I wonder, is this official? Is this licensed? I mean, it's Bandai. They wouldn't just make stuff, right? Okay, yeah, there we go. Universal, Amblin Entertainment. That's a little bit cool. That's kind of neat. So, I mean, I guess that's the kind of thing. If I just was desperate to buy something out of a gacha machine, at least that's something. But basically, why I was complaining about the randomness is just that my brain just started glazing over at every one of these gacha things I've been at because there's just hundreds of them. And there's no treasure, you know? You just never find the like, oh, there's the thing I wanted. There's the cool thing. It's just like, I mean, this one's literally just plastic tomatoes. It's just like a toy tomato. Maybe you want to buy that. I don't. You know? That Back to the Future one, actually, that's like interesting. I didn't find anything remotely that interesting in Ikebukuro. But yeah, the reason I bring it up is that being in a different city, it seems, can shake things up just enough to find something different. Because in 2019, I found a New Japan gacha machine, the New Japan Wrestling promotion, and got some New Japan keychains. In Tokyo, the only one I could find of any show that I watch is Super Cub. So I'm like, sweet, all right, I got a little Super Cub keychain. But looking through these, just as I was about to give up, I finally found another gacha machine of an anime I actually watch. So suddenly I had my quest for the day. You know, I had my reason for being down here and doing stuff. And it's the show Yuru Camp, which I thought for sure would be the one that I would find something about because it's the most recent anime I've been watching. And a movie of it just came out last year. But I have not seen anything about it anywhere. But you come to Fukuoka, you dig around, you go way in the bottom basement floor of the gigantic store, and you go way in the corner of the gacha machine empire. And finally, there's a machine. And actually, as I was looking around, I did see another Yuru Camp one here, and a Super Cub one. They also, they repeat a lot. So I guess there's really no need to scan every single little machine. But I thought I would do this live because it's only 300 yen. That's not bad for a gacha machine. The Super Cub one was 500, and there's like premium ones that are like 700 or 800. Oh my god, this would have been such a bummer. It might still be, I guess. Thank God I found that other Yuru Camp machine because I don't have any coins, I didn't have any coins, and I didn't have any 1,000 yen bills to break into coins with the machine. So that's where it became the quest. I had to go across the street to a 7-Eleven. I had to buy some stuff. I had to come back here with money. And I just noticed this machine is empty. It's empty. There's no capsules left. I hope the other one has capsules. Because the reason I wanted to get it live is my favorite character. Yuru Camp's just about girls who have a camping club in their school. And they go camping. And it's a genre called iyashike that is my favorite. That is just kind of very conflict-free, very lightweight shows that you're supposed to watch. Instead of getting all charged up with the drama and the excitement, you watch them to relax. You watch them just to chill out, and it's great. Japan is the only nation that makes these things, and I like them a lot. But particularly, my favorite character in that show is the main character. Her name's Rin. Because in the early parts of the show, the first season is my favorite, she's more or less on her own. Oh, okay, good. There's some capsules left in this other one. Whew. Close one. Yeah, and she's kind of taciturn and kind of on her own, and she has a little motorbike. And she goes out camping by herself. She learned from her grandpa. And then the show, oh, here's a second Yuru Camp machine over here. Sweet. Are they both keychains? Yeah, I guess one of them is like a keychain. I guess they're both just little things that hang off your bag. But as the show goes on, she becomes friends with the camping club. And it becomes an ensemble show. But I don't like that as much because everybody else in the show is like cartoonishly good-natured. It's like too much. They're like silly in how perfectly idyllic and nice they are. It's kind of weird. But I mean, that is the point of the genre. But Rin is the best because at least she's a little bit like, I don't know, I was kind of doing my own thing here. I don't necessarily want to hang out with you guys. And then she does eventually, but at least that's a character arc, you know? Maybe I'm contradicting myself. Like, I want nothing to happen, but I guess I still want the characters to resemble a human being.
Yodobashi Camera. Thank you for visiting Yodobashi Camera today. At Yodobashi Camera, you can find a wide variety of cameras, watches.
So yeah, the reason I wanted to get this live is the nature of gacha is you don't know what's going to come out.
Smartphones,
So if I don't get Rin, I gotta try again.
and more. We also offer tax-free shopping. Yodobashi Camera is the best place to shop for you.
And let's see, this other machine that I found, it's a little more, it's 500. It's the more traditional 500 yen.
Ask our sales staff for assistance.
And it's like the characters in wrapped up in sleeping bags.
有出发喜的商品有照相机、钟表、电脑、游戏机、玩具、音响设备、智能手机、
Should I go with the 500 yen one first?
化妆品等，种类齐全，货品充足。我们同时还提供商品的免税服务。
I guess I'll try the 500 yen one first just to make sure I don't run out of money.
我们的服务人员，购物尽在有都巴西，尽情享受这悠闲的时光，并祝您购物愉快。안녕하세요. 어서 오십시오. 오늘은 요도바시 카메라를 찾으셔서 진심으로 감사합니다.
Now that I've found that there's two machines, I'll probably try each machine once. And if I don't get a Rin, that's fine. I mean, you know, it's not that important. But I was going to try the first machine twice, so now I'll just try each one. All right, this girl is Nadishko. She's the other main character. Oh, I see. This is actually, this 500 yen one, it's like a little felt thing. It's like a little felt beanbag ball thing. So this is the pink-haired girl who's the other main character. The first episode of the show is basically the two of them meeting. So that's not bad. That's a good, if I'm not going to get Rin, that's next best up. The two core characters. But all right, now let me try the 300 yen machine, see what I get. See, I remember with the New Japan one, I kept getting just guys that I was not necessarily, they weren't the ones that I wanted so much. And I stopped when I got a double. And then I left the double in the machine so that the next guy to come get a New Japan capsule would get two capsules. He'd get whatever he got, and Bushi, Bushi of Los Ingobernables de Japón, which is probably also what he got, so probably he got two Bushis. All right, what do we get out of the 300 machine? Oh yeah, this one, the 300 yen, is just a little flat plastic hangy thing. I don't remember this girl's name, but she's actually kind of cool because she's the one who's the least a part of the group. I don't know that she ever officially joins the camping club. She's just a friend of theirs who has a dog, and they eventually talk her into going camping, and she brings the little doggy. That's a good fucking show. Yuru Camp, Yuru Camp, or Laid Back Camp is the translation. So I didn't get Rin. Do I have 300 yen? Should I try again? No, I'm not going to try again. This is absurd. I don't need these things at all. It's just, the point is not to have the thing. It's to have a quest. And yeah, not bad, man. I found a Super Cub machine and a Yuru Camp machine. And then it's super unlikely that I find the other ones. The other shows, there's Nannan Biori, but that one is a bit old. It's like one of the original Iyashike shows, so it's probably not going to pop up. And really, I guess that's it. Those are the heavy hitters. Those are the big three. And I found two of the three. Sweet. So there we go, the live report from Yodobashi Camera.
例えば20万円の家電製品をお求めの場合は2万円分の
My little corner of my bag where it's like I'm like, oh, I can give up a little bit of space just for these little baubles, these little keepsakes. It suddenly got significantly more full. I didn't expect this 500 yen one to be. It's kind of substantial. It takes up the entire gacha capsule. It's this weird little beanbag ball of this girl wrapped up in a sleeping bag, in her camping bag. Cool. Well, all right. Yet another successful day, walking around Japan with no specific aim, and then having something happen and just doing a thing that's relevant only to me. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I did. So thank you for listening. I'll see you next episode. Adios. ヨドバシカメラの売り場の天井照明は